Hi, I'm Aeon, and this is a video. Geometry Dash is a surprisingly competitive game, and as such, there are obviously people who are claimed as the best. And in the nature of competitive gaming, they will always be compared to one another. But who are these people? Do they actually like the comparisons that are made day in and day out? How did they start completing Extreme Demons in the first place? And what are their thoughts on the constant push for the very best equipment to be able to compete as the very best? I sat down with the current top 3 players on the Pointer Crate or Demonless Stats viewer to ask them these questions and get a better understanding of how it is being the absolute best GD players in 2020. Yo, Tech, what's up?
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Hello there.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Doing alright, how are you?
I'm perfectly fine. I'm very, very good. Hello, Brian. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good myself. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing very good. I'm just a little bit tired, but that's all fine. So, first of all, tell us, who are you? What's your thing?
I think I'm technical. I mean, I could check, but I think that's who I am.
I would hope so. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm supposed to do because I'm supposed to be interviewing technical, but whatever.
My name is nSwish. I'm a Geometry Dash player. I've been playing for about 5 years. Yesterday, I reached #1 Pointer Crate viewer.
Oh, wow. Congrats. I actually didn't know that. That's actually really good.
I am an American player. I've been beating Extreme Demons for like 2 or so years, something like that. I live in the East Coast in the United States, and that's about it, yeah.
What motivated you to start trying to beat Extreme Demons in the first place?
It first came up when I beat Ice Carbon Diablo X in November of 2017. It was my first Extreme, and made me want to see what I could do. Because back then I was still on 60 hertz. So I wanted to see what I could do, so then I beat Following Up, which isn't Extreme, but...
Wait, you beat ICDX on 60?
Yeah, I did.
Damn. Damn!
So, like a month and a half later, I tried Twisted Tranquility, and it took me like a week and a half, and then I did it. And then that motivated me a lot more. So going into 2018, I did a couple other things. And then 144 hertz is really when my motivation to beat those Extreme Demons took off. And then I jumped from Bloodbath to Artificial Ascent in about a month.
That's a vast increase in skill. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it just kind of took off from there.
I thought I progressed fast back right after I got my computer. Because I got my PC in March of 2017. I'd been mobile up until that point. And in 2 days, I beat Cataclysm. And then within 3 weeks, I think, of switching from phone to PC, I beat Bloodbath. And then I beat Subsonic a month later.
Because Cat is a lot easier than BB.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the fact that I hadn't played in two years, like, actively.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I just don't have, like, motivation. Because I do YouTube mostly, I just don't have the time to invest, like, a month into beating something.
Yeah, of course.
So I would much rather just beat something around, like, where I'm comfortable beating it in a few days and then just call it a day. I don't need to compete in the very top. I've had my spotlight there. I don't need it anymore.
To be honest, I don't really remember exactly. It was about 3 years ago, more than 3 years ago, I beat my first Extreme, which was Cataclysm. And I did that because I got 144 hertz, and I did that because I just wanted to see how far I could push myself in the game. And then I beat Cataclysm, and then 9 months later I beat Bloodbath, and then a few months after that I beat Sonic Wave, which was #1 at the time.
That's a massive jump.
It was a pretty massive jump, and maybe I shouldn't have taken it, but I'm here now.
Yeah, true.
I've beaten almost the whole top 30 except for like Tartarus and this random ass level called Taprec. Sometimes I go back and play on my phone, and I just I can't even imagine how some of these mobile players can beat these insanely difficult levels.
Was it, what was his name, like Thunder or something, who beat Bloodbath on phone?
Yeah, that was Thunder.
That's insane. That's actually wild.
I don't understand how it's possible to control a ship on a phone or any mobile device.
It's it's insane. I have so much respect for those people who still play on phone, honestly. Not just like the top of the phone community, but like people who can beat demons in general on phone is like really impressive. It's like effectively beating them.
I think realistically, maybe the minimum amount of time required to become a top player now would be like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot more rules that can help you improve your skill, opposed to back in the day where just like 3 extreme.
Oh yeah, for sure. There are a lot. I feel like it's much easier to compete in the top when it comes to consistency, because there's so many levels that are hard now that you can just consistently beat stuff. But I still think it will take a long time to get like extremely good to the point where you can beat like the top levels. But what do I know?
Well, you know quite a bit. You're observant in this community.
Oh, I've been around for way too long for my own good. Jesus Christ. I think me and Vibrant are the 2 people active in the community now who's been around for the longest, both of us being around for a little over 6 years now.
I think it was just like the people I was around. Like, what's his face? Diamond Splash. He was like a really good friend of mine. There's also Burke. There's some other people, but I don't really remember. But like Diamond Splash was like a main motivator for me because I wanted to like be like similar in skill with him.
Yeah.
I also watched like a lot of people just like play levels and crap, and I was like, I really want to like mess around with these levels at some point because they seem interesting to me.
Yeah,
and
that's respectable.
Also, before I even started playing, I tried to like build stuff, but that just did not work out. So I just kind of like switched to like playing and whatnot.
To me, it was honestly kind of the same, because I started beating a lot of hard stuff through Touch Arcade, actually. Because there was a lot of Korean players on Touch Arcade that was using it. So people like Senthic, Sari was on there, Cyclic was on there. Seeing them have like so many demons and beating a lot of hard stuff and verifying a lot of hard stuff, I was like, I want to do that as well. First off, this one was from Twitter, which made me think a little bit. What's your mindset when you're trying new extremes? And what about when you're stuck on them and can't seem to beat anything? What's your mindset like?
Well, because this does happen a lot with any extreme demon you play. It's always going to take time, especially the learning process is going to take forever depending on the level. That could be demotivating because, you know, you're just like dying over and over again trying to learn how to do a part and you just can't get past it. Well, I think that's just more of that part of it is just more of a like, you know, you're gonna do it eventually and then you're gonna get more consistent at it. But when you actually learn it and then you're trying to get consistent at it and then you can't, I always just like, I know it's so generic, but I always just think, look, it's gonna happen eventually. It might take a while, but you will get past that part eventually, and you will get consistent at it eventually. And you just got to put the practice in. You got to put the time in, because if you don't, and you just keep telling yourself that, oh, this isn't gonna work, this isn't gonna happen, it's just gonna screw you up.
So basically, you're just keeping positive about it, right? Just just like if you think positive and you act positive around it, it will just automatically be better.
Yeah, I wouldn't say automatically.
Yeah, of course.
But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think Nepesta talked about it on stream yesterday when it was starting to do Alter Descent, is that he had a very positive outlook on it, and he just generally had a positive attitude towards the level from the get-go, and he learned the level way faster than I ever would have thought he would. He started 100%. Making progress so quick. So that goes to show, honestly.
Well, when I'm starting an extreme, I know since I've beaten a lot of the hardest levels in the game that I can do it if I try really, really hard. And when I start out, usually it's really fun. I'm enjoying learning the level. But if I get stuck, sometimes I just push through it, and other times I might take a break. But I know that if I persevere and keep playing, that eventually I will do it no matter what.
So for you, it's kind of like, I know I'm capable of it, so I'll just keep going at it, and if it's just a big slump, then just take a little bit of a break, then just go at it again later.
Yeah, basically.
I feel like that's a good way to go about it, just knowing that you're capable of it. Because I feel like, personally, I feel like a lot of people just doubt their abilities. I know that was a big issue before, that just people were like, oh, I'm not good enough for this. Then just gave up prematurely.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people give up really easily because they don't believe in themselves, but I feel like if people really try harder, they are capable of a lot more than.
Yeah, I definitely feel that as well. I can see where you're coming from, and I agree. I agree to a very big extent. I could probably beat a lot harder stuff than I do now if I just cared enough to go for the harder stuff. I try to keep my YouTube channel afloat, so I kind of can't spend a month on a level, but I could. Do I want to? That's a different question, but I could.
I usually just like mess around with the level a bit to see like if I'm comfortable with it or not. If I'm not comfortable with it, then I usually just like kind of stop playing it. Either that or I just like play it a bit more to see for like to see its full potential or whatever. Usually I just kind of like play it less. Like most of the time I usually just like grind out the level, but like if I'm in a slump, then I only really do like a few runs and then just kind of stop for the day.
So you just
kind of like
take a break, basically.
Yeah.
The other people that I've interviewed haven't really taken a break on it. So when you take a break, do you try to practice something new and just play something else, or just not play the game overall?
I usually don't really like doing multiple levels at once. Like I usually just like sticking to one level. But if I just like truly just don't want to play the level anymore, I just drop it entirely, which hasn't really happened frequently. But yeah, I don't really play multiple levels at once. I don't really like doing that.
How do you feel about top player comparison?
Okay, this is a question I get a lot, and I always avoid it because I'm afraid I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I can answer it now. I will answer it. It's completely fine because there's always going to be discussion, like who's the best player, who's in the top. Like it's fine, like it's not a problem. I'm not going to tell people don't discuss it because that's just wrong. As long as you're not being like an ass about it, yeah, I think it's okay. Because like there are literally people that will come into my stream and be like, Sonix is better than you, nSwish is better than you. Like don't just go into a stream and tell specifically the person, like, this person is better than you. Like, okay, like, what do you get out of telling that person that? Like, having a discussion is totally fine, though.
Yeah, so, like, civil discussion is fine. As long as there's no hostility involved, then it's good, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's always going to be a discussion. You cannot end complete discussion on the topic. That's never going to happen. But as long as people just don't attack each other for having different opinions, then it's good.
Yeah, 100%. Like best player discussions, you see it in every game that has any kind of competitive scene. Like it's just gonna happen. Like it's totally fine. You can't stop it.
And especially now, I feel in GD, especially considering that we just have so many people who are extremely talented.
Yeah, it's definitely heightened in this day and age of GD.
Okay, so I used to be annoyed with people doing this. I thought it was silly and impossible to come up with an accurate comparison.
Yeah.
But now I realize that it's inevitable and people will do it regardless of stream rules or whatever. So now I don't really mind it as much. But I'd still prefer if people didn't do it so much.
I agree. I feel like it's a little bit overdone because it's always the same back and forth. It's like, oh, this person is better because they beat this level, and that person is better because they beat that level. They're not really comparable. But my thought on it personally is that it's fine as long as it's not hostile. Like, you can discuss what you think if you have something to back it up, or just fun discussion. But if you just get hostile about it, because I see that a lot in stream chats, like, oh, you're worse than this person. It's like, okay, but is that necessary to say?
Yeah, I agree. I wish people could have more options on it. And to be honest, there are good arguments for both sides, I guess.
I mean, it's hard to compare people with like different skill sets. Like, I mean, in the top 10, it's kind of hard to tell what skill sets people have because they're like good at like
everything,
overall stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'd say someone like Rainstorm. He's like not that good at spam, apparently. So I don't know. I don't think it's really fair to compare other players with like different skill sets because they're still able to overcome obstacles.
Yeah,
Even with like
100% agree.
their quote unquote handicaps.
Yeah, so it's like, for you, it's like it's like unnecessary. Like, obviously, people are gonna do it regardless. Like, you cannot stop an entire community from comparing like nSwish to technical, for instance. But it's not just necessary.
I won't stop people from comparing other people because it's like it's what people do.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. It's like it's fair to say like it is a competition because it is basically is.
GD is a competitive game for sure.
Yeah.
Despite
so it's kind of just like it's still really difficult to like compare other players because like some players still have potential. Like I think Minecraft it still has potential. Like
yeah, definitely.
He's still like testing the waters, I think.
Which is crazy to think about because Jesus Christ, he's good. This is especially for you considering you are the last person on 144 hertz in the top 10, right, on Pointer Crate?
Not anymore actually.
Oh, you just recently switched?
I did. A few weeks ago, a month ago, something like that.
Oh, so it's really recent. This is still very relevant for you though. So, next up, what are your opinions on the constant need for the best equipment, such as now 240 hertz being like the meta of sorts?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said in the last question, any game with any kind of competitive scene is gonna see like changes that people will see as unfair, and GD is obviously no exception. Like any game, if you have a 240 hertz monitor, you're gonna have an advantage just because of fluidity. But I think it's heightened in GD with the physics change.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, with 144, 240, the physics are different, and it makes things like straight flying and wave spam a lot easier. I don't think it's much of a problem. I mean, it's going to be fixed in 2.2, as so Rob Top says anyway.
God, I'm excited to see how that works.
Well, I'd say that a 240 hertz monitor would definitely help over, say, a 144 hertz monitor. But a 144 hertz player could still beat anything they wanted as long as they had the skill to.
Yeah, because
I heard 360 hertz monitors are gonna come out relatively soon.
Yeah,
and I'm interested in seeing whether top players will switch to that.
That's actually something I'm interested in as well with the 360 hertz monitors, is seeing how much GD breaks compared to 144 to 240. I'm interested to see how much the game will break with 360, or if people would just not switch at all because of the FPS setter, FPS chooser, or whatever you're gonna call it, with 2.2 coming.
Oh yeah, I forgot about 2.2. It's been so long.
You just forgot it was gonna exist. It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
I feel like a lot of people are really waiting on this update, but I'm just kind of in the 2.1 update doing as much as.
I mean, at this point, I've kind of just gotten used to it. I don't think it's that great that the game is like turned into a 144/240 race. Whoever gets those products first gets like the most attention at first, outplay everyone else, basically.
Yeah,
like,
because at this point, I feel like the only people who get views on Extreme Demons are the first people to beat it. It's the verifier and the first person to beat it, always.
Yeah.
So you kind of need the best equipment to be the first person to beat a level.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I still think that it's like random, because
I think EXO's a good example of that, because like this one random dude who I'd never heard of before just got randomly like 100,000 views on EXO. And he wasn't the first to beat it either.
Oh yeah. That was like, that has a reason though, because he died at like 99 on it.
Yeah, that was it Color?
Like,
was it Colorbolt or was it someone else?
Colorbolt, yeah.
Do you think we will get to a point where the meta in GD is so far pushed that 240 hertz will be required to beat something? Kind of like how there is a limit to how good you can get at 60 hertz. Like you can't beat the hardest stuff on 60, so you must get 144 or above. Do you think we'll get to a point where 240 hertz will be required to beat stuff?
I feel like if a 240 hertz player with an incredible amount of skill applied themselves and put a couple 100,000 attempts into a level and verified it, I feel like maybe that would be impossible on 144.
Do you think if something like the Golden, for instance, was like 35, 40 seconds longer, that would be like a limit to where 144 should go? Because you're verifying that, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so
And yeah, I feel like if the golden were extended 30 or 40 seconds longer, it would probably be impossible on 240 hertz even.
oh wow, it's even that far. Oh jeez. Yeah, I've watched the 49% clip. It looks fucking ridiculous.
I was planning on making it harder, but the creator
God.
Bo wanted me to get it out faster, so I nerfed basically the whole wave by 2 small.
So like, there's obviously a lot of money involved, and with levels coming out that are like really, really object heavy, you obviously need a beefy PC for that. Those cost like a ton of money, and like overall, I don't think it's as much of a problem as people make it out to be, because this happens in every game. Any game in the competitive scene, this takes place.
I feel like, personally, I feel like people are just so whiny about the whole, you need the best equipment to compete, because as you said, it's a thing in every competitive game, but people are like, oh, GD's like this one cube game on the mobile, why should it be so expensive to compete at the top? It's like, that's not relevant, it's still a competitive game.
Exactly, I completely agree. Like, games like Fortnite, they're free.
Yeah, Fortnite's free even.
It's the biggest game right now, probably.
Fortnite's on mobile as well. That's technically a mobile game.
Like, it's just like I don't understand why people complain about it as much as they do. Like, it's just something that happens in every game.
For GD, it like kind of limits people to like go for personal accomplishments rather than competitive accomplishments of sorts, in my opinion at least.
I think that's how the mindset should be. Like, you shouldn't like worry about your surroundings, just more so about yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure. For me, when I beat an extreme, I only beat it because I would like to showcase it on my channel, and I just like, if I think a level looks cool and it's fun to play, then I'll beat it. I don't give a single fuck about list points. I haven't submitted any of my list stuff to get on the demon list like ever. People always do it for me.
I mean, but that's like a good mindset to have. Just like, play whatever you like.
Shout anything out if you have any socials, whatever. If you're started up an Instagram account or whatever, I don't know. Just tell them where they can find you on the internet.
YouTube.com/c/technicaljl, Twitter.com/technicaljl, Twitch.tv/technicaljl, Discord.gg/ give me a second.
This man's actually just gonna read out the URL.
Discord.gg/z S7VYJT.
Nice. Awesome.
That is my YouTube, my Twitter, my Twitch, and my Discord server.
But anyway, thank you so much. You can shout anything out if you want to. Shout out your socials. Shout out someone else if you want to do so.
Make sure to subscribe to nSwish on YouTube if you're not already doing that. Also follow nSwish on Twitter if you're not that. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. It was really fun. I feel like I learned a couple things. You definitely had some different points of view to tech, so I'm excited to put that all together so you can see what he had to say. Because you guys had different things to say. That's for sure.
Indeed. This was very enlightening.
You could just search me up on YouTube, just BrianTheBurger, yeah. I don't really use any other social media except for like Twitter maybe, but
anyway, thank you so much. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, no problem.
Have fun streaming.
Alright, dude. Thank you.
Goodbye.
I will see you there.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later. Take care, man. Goodbye. After talking to these incredibly talented players, I feel like I have a better understanding of the current top players in GD, as I expected, is vastly different from back when I was at the top myself. But seeing them all keep a very positive attitude to it and being on seemingly good terms with each other, it excites me for the future of the top players in GD. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, one of you guys will be the #1 player. Who knows? Only time will tell. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting on it, as it does help me grow, and it will help me be motivated to keep putting out videos like these, as they aren't really the normal type of video, as per se. But I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it, and I also had a lot of fun making the video. Thank you again to Technical, nSwish, and BrianTheBurger for wanting to spend some time out of their day to talk to me and join in on this interview type thing. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to eat your greens. Goodbye, everybody.